Hi, everybody. Welcome to Community Conversations. My name is Stacy Lauderdale-Litton. I am the Interim Executive Director of the Lowcountry Autism Foundation, and we're going to talk a little bit today about caregiver well-being and how we can make sure that you are taking care of yourselves during this really unprecedented time. Pretty soon here, I'm going to be joined by Sophia Towns, who is our program coordinator for Beaufort County, and she's going to help me to answer some questions about this topic as well. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to type them in, and we're happy to answer them. But we really just want to make sure that you guys are taking care of yourselves and that we can share some of the tips that we have for taking care of ourselves during this time as well. So while we're waiting for Sophia, I just want to say that caregiver well-being can be a really big topic. And this just doesn't mean, oh, I have an hour to go do yoga by myself, because we don't always have time to do that. But what we do have time maybe to do is just to take 5 minutes to walk outside and take a deep breath, or we have time to make a schedule for ourselves. And that's something that I really like to do, is making a schedule. So I have 2 children, and every morning we kind of have a time set for ourselves and a way that we want to set up our day. And I find that that really helps us to navigate our day and makes everything just a lot easier for us, so that we can really know what to expect throughout the day. So one way to do this when you're not in school is if you have children who are able to make a choice of things that they enjoy and things that they find more difficult, then you can really lay those out at the beginning of the day and help them create that schedule with you. So that's one great way to really allow them to have some ownership over their day and allow you to also have ownership over that day. So when you're making that schedule, make sure that you're only including things that you really feel comfortable providing for them. So if you don't really want to do that, or you don't have time to do that, let's just say making brownies is part of that day. If you don't have time to do that, then don't choose that as one of the choices for their schedule for the day. But if you do have that as a choice, then allow them to put that at a time of the day that might be really reinforcing for them, especially if they have something that's really difficult for them to do at the beginning of the day. So we like to take things that are easy, medium, and hard, and we kind of separate those things throughout the day so that we can make sure that they're really reinforced with something that they enjoy after they have to do something that's really difficult. So as an example, I have one child who has therapy for 1 hour twice a week in the morning, and he finds that very difficult for him. And so after that hour, if he has earned and done a great job, then we make sure to have something that's really reinforcing for him after that. So he might be working for soccer, and then we're making sure that he's able to earn after that. So just making sure that I'm able to schedule things throughout the day that are really helpful and that really allow him to be reinforced and me to be reinforced too. So if there's something really difficult that I have to do, for example, if I have to do some really difficult work things, then I might try to schedule some time with my kids after that for us to go for a bike ride. So really setting time up and scheduling your day is a great way to alleviate some of that pressure on you and alleviate some of the pressure on them. If you have a child who has a more difficult time making choices, then a visual schedule is a great thing to create in the morning, and you can do that for them. So you can create the visual schedule. You can even just have 2 small things, a first and a then, that helps them to navigate the day. So first you have to eat breakfast, and then you get to go and play outside. So it's just going to really depend on what your day looks like, as to what your schedule looks like. And it's also just going to depend on what your family is going through and the needs of your family, as to how you schedule that day. But definitely making a schedule is a way to alleviate some of that stress and anxiety on you and the way that your kids are feeling. And so that is a great way to start taking care of yourself. I know I was talking to Sophia earlier, and one of the other things she suggested was if you even just have a chance to go take a walk out to the mailbox by yourself, that could be enough time to just recharge yourself and to really take the time to just take a deep breath, because the day can get overwhelming, especially now that we're spending a lot of time at home. We're not having the opportunity to go out into the community as much. That is something that can become even more overwhelming. And working from home, my kids are just in the other room right now. And so that is something too that can be really overwhelming. So taking that time to allow them to have a little quiet time so that then you are able to also have some quiet time, maybe a reading time together if you have the opportunity to do that. I know a lot of kids like their technology. So if you even just have a chance to put them and give them some technology to utilize, that might just give you a little bit of a chance to take a breath. So this is another way that you can just start taking care of yourselves. Looking back and just talking about the schedules, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of additional information about that. So I know that the thought of making a schedule every day can be kind of daunting, and I totally understand that. But once you get in the habit of doing it, and your kids also understand that that's something that's going to be part of their day, then they start to look forward to that structure as well. So for me, with my kids, at first, there was a little bit of pushback when I was having them, okay, these are the things we have to do today. Let's put a hard, a medium, and an easy. Which one do you think fits in each of these? And they'd take the little slips of paper that I wrote down for them and they put them in their places. And then I'd say, okay, well, let's now take these and let's move them into morning, lunch, and afternoon. So what are we going to do? And then they would help me to create that schedule. And at first it would be, I don't want to, this is really hard. But after about 3 or 4 days, in the morning, they would say, what's on our schedule today? Where are my slips of paper so that I can make sure to put them in order? And so they really started to look forward to it, and they really started to take some ownership over their day, which again, as for me as a mom, it made everything a lot easier for me, because then they knew what the expectation was, and I was able to then move more smoothly throughout my day. And sometimes we would also have to add some additional reinforcers in there. And this is something that's going to be really important to start thinking about when we're moving into this unpredictability of this school year. So I feel like we were just there. I feel like we were just at a place where, I'm trying to be teacher mom and working mom, and trying to figure out how to best meet their needs while keeping myself under control. And that scheduling saved us, because if we had not had that, I definitely would have been losing my mind, and the kids would have been engaging in a lot higher levels of problem behavior. So that's something that the scheduling helps as well, is you see a decrease in the levels of that problem behavior. And that's what we want. And I know from talking to parents that that's something that I've heard a lot about, is how do I help decrease this problem behavior? Or, my child has really been stressed out and it's really been causing me a great deal of anxiety because they were doing great in school. And now that they're home, they've been struggling. And so that is something that scheduling can really, really help with. If you have a child who's engaging in higher levels of problem behavior or avoidance, problem behavior is telling you that they're trying to gain access to something or they're trying to avoid something. So that problem behavior is telling you something, and you just need to figure out what it's telling you. And one of the antecedent strategies that you can use to really decrease the stress in the house for you as the caregiver and for the kids is a schedule. And like I said, it can be written. It can be on little slips of paper like I was doing. It can be pictures. And we at Low Country Autism Foundation can also help you with those. So if you have a question of, hey, this is my schedule, what do I do? how do I make sure that I'm making it something that I can easily access and my child can easily access? Or these are the skills that my child has. How can I help create a schedule that's best for them? So we are happy to provide you with the resources to be able to do that and to help walk you through the different steps to be able to do that. So please don't be afraid to reach out to us if that's something that you need and you think would be helpful for you and your family. We can definitely help with that. But like I said, the schedules can look different depending on what type of household you have, who your child is, and what you have scheduled throughout the day. And the thing that I will say that we're really lucky here in the Low Country is that we can spend some time outside. So building in some reinforcing time outside, doing some things as a family, also just getting out and getting some exercise. Exercise is an evidence-based practice for kids with autism. So there's 27 evidence-based practices and exercise is one of them. So that's something that really could help with any additional problem behaviors you might see because you're spending a lot more time at home. And that is something that you would also see implemented in a school setting. So when you're in school, you're seeing these schedules, you're seeing there's a lot of structure, and a lot of kids with ASD will thrive in that environment with structure. And, as a caregiver, that's also going to be something that might help you thrive. Is to get some structure as much as possible. I know when you have all of these balls in the air and you're really trying to juggle all of these different things, getting some structure can be really difficult. But hopefully, if you can take the time to try to set up that structure for yourself, it's something that can become part of your routine. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, please make sure to just make a comment here. I saw Sophia's having a little bit of technical difficulty, so hopefully she'll be able to join us soon. And Kat has joined us too, and I see Lindsay. So we have some people who are here and really interested in the topic of caregiver well-being. And also, I should point out that in the Bluffton area, starting in July, next week, actually on Monday, we're offering a free caregiver yoga class at Move Fitness. So that's going to be something that you can take advantage of. And if you have the time, please go and attend this. We'll have a flyer that's posted on our website that's letting you know about Move Fitness and the free yoga class. So that's something that you can take advantage of. And we also have some online yoga videos on our YouTube channel that you can check out as well. But like I said, a lot of us don't have time to go somewhere for an hour and to go do yoga for an hour. So some ways to really help ourselves is to just take a little bit of time and then just to help create some structure in our day. And that would be my biggest suggestion of what to do in terms of caregiver well-being. Another way that I help create structure for myself is by creating a menu at the beginning of every week. So I sit down on Sunday and I have a menu for dinner for Monday through Friday, and I'll go to the grocery store and I'll buy everything that I need. And I also usually have a couple of additional frozen things in there that I throw in the freezer, so that if I'm just too overwhelmed or I just don't have time, I can just stick one of those in the oven. So I found having some of those things available is really helpful. So that's another great way that you can kind of help yourself and to really mitigate some of the stress that you have in your life and just being able to meet the needs of your family. So another thing that I wanted to comment on was just back to the scheduling. If you have the schedule for the week for your food, so that's a great way. You've got yourself set up. You have a couple of things of raviolis also in the freezer, so that you can make sure to have those if you need them. Then fantastic. And then if you have the schedule set up for your kids, fantastic. And I'd like to also have some reinforcers extra around the house, just in case I need them. So for example, I have this Pete the Cat ball that I found when I was at TJ Maxx one day, and I made sure to have that hidden away. So if I know that there's a day that's going to be really difficult for us, and we have something like, for example, a dentist appointment, or I just took my daughter to the orthodontist on Monday. She does not like that. So if we're end up going to a place like that that I know is going to be extra difficult, I can make sure to build that reinforcer in so that they have that another extrinsic way to earn something. So I've found, especially now that we're spending all this time at home, we are spending so much time here and we are spending so much time together. And sometimes that extrinsic reinforcement is really needed in order for my kids to make the right choice. So sometimes I have to have those things laying around. So I definitely, when I'm at the store, will grab things that are on sale. I'll grab some things that I know are really reinforcing to them, and I'll just kind of squirrel them away for that time when they're really needed. And that way, if I have a more stressful, you know, activity taking place, then I know I have that. But another key to reinforcement is making sure that you don't give them access to that reinforcer all the time. Because if you do, then they will become satiated. So let me give you an example. I was working with a child in a school one time, and he really loved this dinosaur toy. He loved it. So we bought one for school. We gave him the dinosaur toy, and it was working fantastic. I mean, he was staying on task. He was following the directions. He was using his self-management system. And then one day it just stopped working. And we were wondering what happened. And what ended up happening is Grandma had bought him one at home too. So now that he had access to it in another way, he didn't necessarily want to work for it anymore at school. And so you might see that at home as well, where if you're using a specific reinforcer system, or if you have a specific reinforcer that's usually really potent and the kid really loves it, your child actually, just loves it. But if they have access to it at other times, then they might not, find that specific item or activity as reinforcing. So my kids got snow cones today, and then this afternoon, when we wanted them to read a book to us to earn a snow cone, they didn't want to do that because they'd already had a snow cone today. And so just making sure that you're thinking about the reinforcers that you're using and the way that you're setting up your day so that you can make sure that what you're building in is really going to be useful and is really going to work. And there's so many different considerations to make when you're trying to figure out, how to structure your day and what's going to make the day most successful for everyone. But like I said, I really think that structure of having a schedule for the day, having some reinforcers, some tricks in your pocket, just like the grandma with the tissues in her bag, making sure you have just that extra little thing in there that can really help you and can really allow you to make it through the day successfully. And then just being able to just even take a few minutes to step outside and take a deep breath. I know one of the things that we use in our house is like the thermometer about the way you feel. How are you feeling right now? And I will use that thermometer too. Because as the caregiver, I need to make sure that I am modeling the behavior that I want them to use. So if I'm feeling escalated and I'm feeling up here in the red on this thermometer, I will say, mommy's going to take a walk because I'm feeling at an 8 right now. And so when I feel like I'm at an 8, I need to go take a walk. And that is modeling the behavior you want to see. It's also helping you as the caregiver, and it's helping them to see what behaviors you want them to engage in when they're starting to feel like they're in an 8 or they're at a 9. So I don't know how many of you guys use that type of thermometer, but it's a great tool to be able to identify the way you feel, what might make you feel that way, and what you should do if you start to feel that way. So I think building some of these things in to your day and into your family routine can really help. I was the only one using it for a little while. Now my kids use the thermometer, and now even my husband uses the thermometer. So we can all use it together and model that behavior for each other. And now sometimes I even get, Mommy, I think you should use, your thermometer. I think you're feeling a little bit, you're probably at a 6. And a lot of times they're right. I am at a 6. And so building in some of those things into your day can really help you, because there's nothing worse as a caregiver than feeling like the day is out of control, and it's something that you just can't handle. And then it just makes everything snowball into something worse. So creating that structure can really, really help. And just trying to be creative with your reinforcers, finding things that are reinforcing to you and reinforcing to your kids. So I think both of those things are going to be really important for you as a caregiver. And I also think, too, as a caregiver, making sure that you have a community of people that you can rely on. So, Low Country Autism Foundation, we've started now having these live chats so that we can just share some information with you. But we have the community conversations as well, where you can just pop in and ask us questions and talk. And you can just even sit there if you want to, and just so that you feel that you have that support, because you do. Even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it, even though sometimes it feels like you're absolutely overwhelmed, especially because of the current situation where we're all in our homes. We're wearing masks. We're trying to teach our children to wear masks. This is a very overwhelming situation for a lot of different people. So giving yourself a little bit of structure can really help with that overwhelming feeling. I'm going to post in the next couple of days some different resources that you can use for making schedules. But there's also a breathing racetrack that we posted already on our website that you can use, that you can have your child use too when they're starting to feel overwhelmed. And again, that's something you can model as a caregiver as well. How do I react when I'm feeling overwhelmed and when I'm feeling upset? What do I do? And modeling these behaviors are a great way to make sure that your child is going to know what to do if they're feeling that way as well. So I feel like using these prompting strategies like modeling, like visual supports, even gestures, and gesturing to the picture of if you have a breathing card, trying to implement these different visual supports in your house, just like we have. I mean, I have my cell phone that has my calendar on it. That is my visual support that gets me through the day. And if I don't have that, then I have no idea what's going on. So think about it then from your child's perspective and how that might decrease their anxiety, which would then decrease yours as well. Providing that structure. And I know it's difficult to provide that structure when you're, having 100,000 things going on. You're working mom, you're a caregiver, you're trying to make your way through the day. And I know that can be really overwhelming, but if you just take a little time to try to structure, or if you just reach out to us, send us an email and say, listen, I heard you on FaceTime Live. I want to help structure my day. How do I do that? Or these are some of the activities we have. How can I go about structuring my day so that it can help me and it can help my child, so that we have some clarification of what we're going to do and how we're going to get through the day together. So if you need help with that, we're here. We're here to help you. We're here to listen. So like I said before, I'm Stacy Lauderdale Litton. I'm the interim executive director for LAF. We have Sophia Towns, who is our program coordinator in Beaufort County. We have Kat Bodkin, who is our development coordinator in Charleston, but she also is a wealth of knowledge about autism. And then we have Erin Yerfest, who is our wholehearted and OM expert in Charleston as well. And we're hoping to be able to start offering some in-person programming again in August. But we want to help you get through this time when we are all having to stay at home and stay safe. And making sure that you're taking care of yourself. Sometimes one way to do that is by providing some structure for yourself and for other people in your family. So like I said, if we can help you do that, please make sure to let us know. And I'm really excited to be in this position and to be at a place where we can help you to feel a little bit more secure. and a little bit more aware of the resources that are out there to help you. So thank you everybody for tuning in today. And if you find that you have any questions, please make sure that you email me. My email is Stacy, STACY _Litton, LITTIN at laughinc.org. You can find that information on our website, and we are here to provide you with any support that we can. And I'm happy to also, you can call us on the phone, 843-800-7171. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.